All right, guys, welcome back to Average Home Theater. This is Nelson, and I am joined by
Producer Nick,
producer Nick. And hopefully, our audio is much better today than it was last time. I apologize for that, but no matter what, you still sound sexy.
thank you.
Get your Barry White voice on. Thank you. I can turn up
Yeah.
the lows a little bit so our voice gets a little more bass.
Let's leave some women for the rest of the
Yes,
fellas.
leave some room for the rest of you guys out there. We don't want to take them all up.
Jesus.
But so what we decided on was we wanted to do our top five funniest movies, right? That's what
Um,
that's what we discussed. What
that
we thought
was
were the funniest movies of all time.
yeah, that was the original idea. Yes, that was the catalyst.
And then through our research, it's proven a lot more difficult to narrow down five movies. So we're just gonna give, I mean, I guess we're gonna give our top five or the ones that we think are the funniest, and I'm pretty sure a few of them are gonna be the same.
Yeah,
But there's no rules here.
I
We can do
can
whatever we want.
I can do a top couple definitive, but I don't have I just have a bunch of movies written down kind of.
Right.
And I don't
And
have notes or anything. This is going to be off the cuff raw.
hmm
We're just going to say a movie and talk about it. And
right, like we didn't watch tons of funny
right.
movies because I just got back from vacation. I went on a week's trip to Florida. So yeah, there was no real research involved other than what we can remember.
Right.
And you
Just
know,
thumbing through our collections.
and these are movies that we've probably seen a million times,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yes.
with that, we are gonna get started. So do you want to start with like the definitive, or do you want to start with runner-ups?
I think we got to get the elephant out of the room. I know what my kind of number one is. It's probably going to be
Okay.
close to what your number one is. Um,
Yeah, so go ahead and give us
well,
your definitive, your number one, what you think is probably the funniest movie you've ever seen.
yeah, I can't say the funniest movie of all time because I haven't seen every movie.
Correct.
However, The Big Lebowski is probably, if I want to watch something that I know is going to make me laugh over and over again, it's probably The Big Lebowski.
Well, here's the thing. It's hilarious.
Yes.
So it's and look, my wife and I think that might have been the second time I ever watched it was with my wife.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it by myself before and I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
But when we watched it together, now this was probably 15 years ago,
Yeah.
we were both like, that's one of the funniest movies
Yeah.
ever made.
And it's very polarizing. Some people don't like it, don't get it, whatever. But every time I watch it, I find something different to laugh about. I notice something different or just some little nuance or something that I didn't catch before. And I've seen it a dozen times probably.
And it's the funniest part is, they've been asked many times, John Goodman, Jeff Bridges, and how much was ad-libbed? How much, did you guys come up with? And nothing.
Yes,
Every single line was written.
every man, every F word, every pause,
Right.
every dude, everything was as written, which goes, they wrote an unbelievably funny and awesome movie. The performances, the acting, everything, the
hmm
story, this
The
ridiculous
ridiculous story that doesn't make
nonsense.
sense.
She kidnapped herself. I mean, it doesn't, it's a movie about kind of nothing.
Kind of nothing. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that was actually my number two.
Was that? Oh, Big Lebowski.
That Big Lebowski is my number
I
two.
got you. Okay.
My number one is My Cousin Vinny.
My cousin Vinny
I
on
I,
my list.
I think that is the funniest movie. But these two are neck and neck. But man, My Cousin Vinny,
Well,
and what I like about, and to me, what makes it one of the funniest movies ever is because it's kind of opposite of Big Lebowski, where everybody thinks it's funny, and
yeah.
anybody
Yes.
can watch it and
Yeah.
think it's funny.
Yeah. And my cousin Vinny is it's a good movie.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not just a funny movie, it's a really good movie. It's the story is good and the case is actually kind of interesting. It's one of those where you start out, you know they didn't do it.
Right.
And you have to watch this guy hilariously
Slate
try to
defend them.
prove that they didn't do it. Try to defend it, not prove that they didn't do it, but
And he has no experience and all that good
no,
stuff. But
no. Yeah.
John Landis is the director, right?
Right?
And he was a lawyer.
Mm,
So
okay.
he very much knew courtroom procedure
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And there are many lawyers who have commented that My Cousin Vinny is great because it's accurate.
Yeah. I've
Voir, if you want to voir die the witness,
I
that
was
kind of
gonna say
stuff.
that I feel like I've read before, like this movie is like shown to law students
Oh,
as
is it really?
like
Wow.
I feel like maybe I've heard that or read that before, like how to procedure wise,
Right.
like this
It
is
wouldn't
how
surprise
it's
me
done.
because
Yeah,
they say it's very accurate,
yeah,
and I haven't been in a courtroom that much. I have been a few times, but um, yeah, that's
yeah,
to me Joe Pesci in anything funny is great
yeah.
because it's Joe Pesci, right?
Right.
But once again, the writing and all that stuff, it's genius.
Yeah,
It's a genius movie, and because of the courtroom stuff,
yeah.
and it's just great. It has to be it in anybody who puts together a movie a list like this has to say that My Cousin Vinny's up there.
Yeah,
If they don't, it's only because they forgot.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I just don't see
It's
how it cannot be on a list.
it's a staple. It's got to be on any list. It's up there. So yeah, I mean the one and two interchangeable. Um, Next on my list, one of my top funny movies is Meet the Parents, the first one. I think they kind of fell off a little bit after that, especially the third one. But Meet the Parents is another one where every time I watch it, there's something different to laugh at that I didn't notice before. The movie is so the poor guy, Ben Stiller's character, Greg Fokker, he's in such a no-win situation. It's so awkward. Like I watch this movie still and I get
You
uncomfortable
get
for
yeah,
him.
you're like,
Yeah.
everything just goes wrong,
Yeah,
and
from the second he walks in the door to meet, Robert De Niro and the mom, Blythe Danner, the awkward hug, and they nobody knows what to say, and Robert De Niro is such a strong presence, and he's just trying to make a good impression, and it's just it's hilarity ensues.
it's on my list, but not in my top.
Yeah. Well, I know
Now,
you had said you
it's
haven't seen
been
it
a
in a
long
while.
time
Yeah.
since I watched it. When it came out, I'm pretty sure I damn near wore the DVD out
Yeah.
because I watched it a ton
Yeah.
when it came out. But it's just one of those I've kind of drifted off from it. But the sequels are okay. They
Yeah.
have funny moments.
Yeah.
But this movie as a whole, damn near every scene you laugh.
Yes. It's nonstop. It's the
Owen Wilson.
tons of one-liners. Owen Wilson was awesome.
She's a
Everyone.
tomcat.
Yeah, it's every they put him in just a whole bunch of really awkward situations, and he was just trying to be liked and fit in, and it just yeah,
Yeah,
that's one of
that's a
mine.
great one. I'm glad you had that high on your list.
Yeah.
Um, so mine are gonna go to a little kind of silly, I guess, at some point, but Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber is on my list.
Dumb and Dumber is hilarious. I was sure my daughter, she's 13, and it was on HBO Max or whatever, and we were looking for something to watch, and I was like, "Oh, Dumb and Dumber! I gotta
Yeah.
show her Dumb and Dumber." And
Yeah.
we only got about halfway through it because we had to stop for whatever, and I
Hmm.
was like, "Oh, we'll finish it another time." And now it's not on HBO anymore, so I
Right.
have to break out the DVD and finish it with her. But
Yeah.
man,
I remember you calling me when y'all. I remember that you called me and were telling me how proud you were because she was laughing at certain parts or
hmm
whatever when he was running in the car. I remember that you called me. Yeah.
oh, she really laughed when he said, "My pets' heads are falling off."
Yes.
She
Yeah.
loved that part.
This is one of those movies. This came out when we were younger. I
Oh,
mean,
what,
what, mid
13?
90s, early
It came out
90s?
like 93 or 94.
This is
So
one
like
of those ones
2014.
where a movie like that'll come out like I'm not gonna pick on Adam Sandler, but like an Adam Sandler movie.
Hmm
You can watch that when you're younger and think it's hilarious, and then when you grow up, some of
You
his
grow out
movies
of
you kind of
that
grow out of it.
humor.
This one is still to this day laugh out
I
loud
concur.
funny. This one stood the test of time for
Yep.
sure for
Which is
me.
why it was third on my list. I mean,
Yeah.
as I'm going through this list of about 35 movies I have, I was like, man, Dumb and Dumber. I mean,
Yeah.
no matter what, I keep going back to it, and I always laugh every time I watch it,
Yeah.
from the
The
opening scene to the end.
the scene on the lakeside when they were freezing and you had the gloves and your hands are freezing, that was so genius and so like that's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in a movie.
Your
And we
hands are
we quote that
freezing.
just about daily, you and I. I mean, that's you can't get a whole lot better than that.
Yeah.
And
We're in the
We're in the
Rockies.
Rockies, dummy. Why didn't you have gloves? Because you had the other gloves.
What you got next?
What's next on my list? Okay, well, staying with Jim Carrey. Ace Ventura, the first Ace Ventura movie.
Actually, I had both because,
Yeah, I know
in
you
my
really, really
opinion,
like the second
they're
one.
both
Yeah.
they're interchangeable as far as which one's funnier.
Well,
Sometimes it's part two, sometimes it's part one.
my thing with Ace Ventura is I remember where I was, who I was watching it with. I remember watching that for the first
Me
time,
too.
and I remember like I had never seen anything like that
Hmm.
before. I had seen funny movies, I had seen comedies before, whatever, but I had never seen anybody transform themselves into a character like that and just be completely goofy, completely just silly and outlandish and that's another one that today still is I laugh at. It's still
Absolutely.
kind of childish
There's,
now, I guess,
yeah,
but
it's a little sillier if it can be sillier than Dumb and Dumber, but it's
right.
probably a little sillier than Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's one of those. I remember I was at my house. My brother and I we had a friend over. His name was Colby,
Mhm.
and he brought the VHS,
Mhm.
and we put it in, get through the previews or whatever. And the opening credits start, and you just see his shoes walking in slow motion,
Yeah.
and Kobe started laughing
Yeah.
because he had already watched it. It
Yeah.
was his movie,
He knew it was coming.
and he was laughing
Yeah.
just at that, and we were like, "What? What?" And then we 12-year-old boys
Yeah.
damn near pissed our pants watching that.
Dustin showed it to me first. I watched it at Dustin's house, and I can remember he's going down the street and he's got the package and he's breaking it and damaging it and all this stuff. And I remember not knowing what to think at first. Like what am I
What am I
watching? Like
watching?
this is I've never seen
Staring
anything
down with the
like this.
package, getting crushed by the door,
Yeah,
going like,
I had never seen anything like that before, and that should that could make it to my top two or top three, I
yeah,
guess, just
it's
because of the historical significance of
yes,
it,
just the impact on
the
my
impact that it had
childhood.
on my life.
Yeah,
Yeah, so the first Ace Ventura, and I do like the second Ace Ventura, but just because the original is the original,
yeah. I mean, yeah,
I
yeah.
can't put it on
You
top of the
can't put
first one.
them both. It just wouldn't make sense to put
Yeah,
them both on there. But
yeah,
if you would have said Ace Ventura 2, I would have agreed with you as
yeah.
well.
I got you.
Just because I think it's damn near just as fun, if not funnier, than the first one. I love it. I mean, he pokes his finger out of the rhinoceros butt when he does it.
Like a
Yeah.
periscope, yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
they definitely had some moments in that one for sure.
Um, so this movie was huge when we were kids as well, and it's a little more of I enjoy it more now because of the being a father and all of that stuff.
Think I know where you're going.
And Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yes, on my list.
Mrs. Doubtfire was hilarious as a kid, and if you watch it now, it is still hilarious. But if you are a father, then it's even more, it hits you even harder
I
now,
watched it.
the sentimental parts,
Yes,
and you understand more of why he's doing what he's doing.
the end especially
Yes.
when Mrs. Doubtfire is talking about the different types of family and
Yep,
this and
yep.
that. I watched that with my kid not too long ago. I say not too long ago, within the last year or so. I teared up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In the words of the Big Lebowski, men do cry. Um, yeah, I mean that was Mrs.
Men do
Doubtfire. It's a
cry.
classic. Who said I don't need a
You
hand?
know,
I need
in
a
the
face.
when they had all the lights down and the fire was going.
You mind if I do a J?
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, Mrs. Doubtfire. I love that movie.
Yeah, Mrs. Doubtfire is
It's
great.
Robin Williams at his peak, in my opinion. That's whenever he was everything at
Yeah,
that point. He was probably the funniest man alive at that point.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Definite classic. I love Mrs. Doubtfire.
Shoot.
Let me look at my list here. So maybe not. I guess we're getting into honorable mention territory now.
We're just going with it.
Um, one I have on my list that you might probably don't have, and it's I don't think this ever got very popular or whatever, but the movie Election with Matthew
Election is
Broderick
funny, but I've
and
only seen it maybe twice.
yeah, it's one of those dark
Dark humors.
comedies, yeah, dark humor. I do have that on my list, just going through my collection. Matthew Broderick was great.
Reese
Chris
Witherspoon, huh? Is
Reese Witherspoon was in it. She plays the
the girl.
kind of goody two shoes,
Yeah.
but she's not a very goody two shoes. Chris Klein, the innocent jock who he's a dummy
I
basically.
don't remember. I don't even remember him being in that. So I guess I
Yeah,
need to refresh my memory.
he was really good in that. He played Just Friends. It was the
Oh,
same kind of guy,
that's
like
actually
the
on my list. That's way on my list, but Just Friends is
yeah.
up there. Just Friends is
Just Friends
hilarious
is
if
great.
you've never seen it.
But yeah, if you've never seen Election, again, Matthew Broderick, Reese Witherspoon, Chris Klein. Um, I
And
remember if there was anybody else big in it.
he's a teacher, right?
He's a teacher, and there's a high school like a student council election
Election.
going on, and he gets kind of caught up in that. The popular girl, the bookworm, whatever, she's like a shoe in to win, and then he encourages the jock to enter the race, and it's a
It's
lot of
ridiculous.
a lot of different stuff happens.
It's ridiculous
It
high
is
school,
ridiculous, but
but they
he
make it funny.
yeah, he gets involved and he shouldn't have, and there's some other stuff that goes on that's probably not appropriate to talk about here, but yeah, if you've never seen it, one of my favorites. If you like the dark comedy kind of movies, that one was really really good.
Well, because yeah, we're now in getting in honorable mention territory, but this is probably number five, right? Yeah. There's something about Mary.
Yeah, see that I didn't put that one on my list, but
But
yeah,
that's the same, that's Fairley Brothers, right?
yep,
So
Fairly
is that
Brothers.
the ones that did Big Lebowski? No, that's the Coen
No, it's
brothers.
Coen Brothers.
Um, but the Fairley brothers, they did Dumb and Dumber,
Yeah, I
right?
think so.
And uh what's the other? Oh, Kingpin. I have Kingpin on here.
Kingpin,
I
yeah,
love
Kingpin's
Kingpin,
good.
but that's way down the line. But there's something about Mary. I saw that. That's the first movie I think I can remember going see at the theater more than once.
Yes, same.
And
It
I was
came
like
out around the
17 or
same time as
18,
Gladiator, and I remember seeing that and Gladiator multiple times at the movies.
and I was working at Albertsons, and Travis,
Hmm.
I went and watch it with him, and we cried laughing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ha-
at the beginning, his balls getting caught in the zipper. I mean, that's
How do you get to beat about Frank?
getting into things you've never really seen before.
Mm.
We were 17, 18 years old,
Yes,
and it's like,
I was gonna say
what?
that. That's
The
another one
whole
where,
theater goes, ah! I
yeah,
mean, it
that's another
was,
one. There were like three moments in that movie where, yeah, I can't believe they did
they
that.
did
Now,
that, yeah.
now that kind of stuff is kind of commonplace, but yeah, that scene, the hair gel, and the old lady getting
Oh,
topless,
Magda or Ma
Magda something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I didn't put that one on my list, but yeah, I remember that was a game changer too.
Yep.
That one was something we had never seen before.
Yeah, that movie was that was big time.
Yeah, I did enjoy There's Something About Me. Brett Favre makes a cameo where he plays
Brett
Dolphins, you dumbass.
Favre.
Yeah, Brett Favre. He was a great actor in that movie.
We're in to play the Dolphins, you dumbass.
Yeah, that was a good one. That's a good choice. Um, on my list next, probably I kind of skipped over it, I guess, but one of my favorite funny movies is Office Space.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely, it's on there.
Office Space, mostly because it's hilarious, and mostly because it's so relatable. Like
Yeah, because I work in an office now,
I am Peter.
and you know, before I've said it many times, my background is military and law enforcement. So while I always loved the movie,
Yeah,
I never could relate to it.
right.
Well, now I work in an office. I've been working in an office for like 7 years now, and absolutely. And
Yeah,
everybody in my office loves that movie, and we talk
yes.
about it all the time. So
It's
it's
definitely a
great.
classic. One of the things he says in the movie that I say all the time, which I definitely relate to, he says, "It's not that I'm lazy, I just don't
Don't care.
care." Yeah. So, Office Space, definitely, without a doubt, that one deserves to be in the top five. I actually watched it for the first time in a little while, not too long ago, and 3 days later, I watched it again.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, I watched it like twice in a week
I remember you
because
telling me I'm watching Office Space again.
yeah, it's another one of those where every time you see this one little thing you might have missed or might have not caught or whatever, and it's like
No,
watching
I
it for
don't
the
want you
first time.
messing up my life.
Oh, you messing up my life too. Yeah, and I watched it with my 12-year-old, which was probably
That
inappropriate.
yeah.
I fast forwarded through the the naked
Yeah,
parts.
yeah.
But yeah, he thought he thought it was pretty funny, of course.
Um, Now we're getting to honorable mentions, I guess. And look, these movies are still hilarious to me.
Yes.
It's just when you're trying to put a top five or you whatever, that's hard. Okay,
Yeah.
it's very difficult.
Yeah.
But Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence.
I have still never
Ah,
seen it. I've still never seen Life. It's on Netflix, or it was.
it
I
okay.
it,
Well,
it
you need
was.
to watch
It's
it
on my list. I just
because
haven't
it's
watched it.
hilarious.
I know. I've never heard anyone say anything different. I've just never gotten
You
around
need to
to watching
watch it. I mean, I'm a big Eddie Murphy guy.
it. Yeah.
I have Coming to America on here. I
Yeah.
have The Golden Child on here.
Okay.
Trading Places with
Okay.
I mean, those movies are all hilarious to me,
Yeah.
and I can watch them at any point, and I'm gonna laugh every time I watch them.
Okay.
But
I
Eddie Murphy was the king, man.
I need to watch Life. I've
Yeah,
never
you need to
seen it.
watch Life because it's just great, and
Yeah.
I without getting too much into it, it's great.
Yeah. I saw the you hover over it on Netflix and it shows like a little
Mm-hmm. A
minute
little
and a
clip
half
or
clip or
whatever.
whatever. I watched that and I laughed at that actually. But I don't know why I just haven't watched it yet.
Oh,
I have homework. I have an assignment. Um Next on my list, I guess like you said, there's really no honorable mentions. I'm just gonna go from the top of what I have. Burn After Reading,
oh yeah,
another
yeah.
Coen
That's
Brothers
Cohen.
movie. Mostly because of Brad Pitt and his character, and John Malkovich too. John Malkovich was funny without trying to be funny, I guess. But Brad Pitt in that movie, the gym personal trainer dope he was perfect. Another movie about absolutely
What did
nothing.
he say? Whenever they call and you're like, we have
Yeah.
what does John Malkovich say? He's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, the delivery of those lines, and again another Coen Brothers movie, so you know it's going to be well written and
And they
everything.
probably wrote every single line of
Yeah.
that one.
So I really like that one. Nothing story, nothing.
Ridiculous story. Like
Just a
it's just
yeah,
dumb.
outlandish, just crazy story. If you've never seen Burn After Reading, and he doesn't. I don't think that movie gets enough credit for as good and as funny as it is.
Yeah,
It's
well,
a
most people haven't even heard. If you ask people about
Yeah.
it, they're like, "What?
Well, and it's another one that's polarizing. Either people like it or they have either don't like it or have
Never
never
heard of
watched it,
it."
never heard of it. So yeah, Burn After Reading is definitely on my list.
Well, I'm gonna go with the classic here, and only because I wore out the VHS, saw it in the theater. Major Pain.
Major Pain,
Major
yeah,
Pain,
yeah,
man. I
yeah.
mean, when you're 12, 13 years old and you're watching Damon Wayans as a drill sergeant
Yeah.
just belittle children,
Yeah, I don't know
it's
if you can make that
fantastic.
movie today.
It's
Picking on the
fantastic.
deaf guy and
Yes,
everything. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, Major Pain. I watched that not too long ago, actually,
Major Pain
within
is
the last year or
hilarious.
so. Yeah. Yeah, I can
Directed
see.
by the first ever Michael Myers, Nick Castle.
Ah, I did not know
In the
that.
first, yeah, in Halloween 1, it's Nick Castle. He
Okay.
directed Major
Okay.
Pain.
Well, see, it's an educational
There
show,
you go.
children.
We give you all of this knowledge and you can
Yeah.
help, do I don't
Yeah.
know what you can
We
do.
give it to y'all. Y'all do what y'all want with it.
I don't know what else you can do. Anything else you want to mention? I got a bunch, man.
Oh man, I have a few more. This one I actually can't believe you haven't mentioned it yet. This is something that we have seen so many times. We could probably act out the movie right now for y'all. The Burbs
Oh,
with Tom
Tom Hanks, yeah.
Hanks, Bruce Dern. Uh,
Who Tom Hanks and Bruce Dern are the funniest parts of the whole movie. I mean, the
yeah,
whole movie's funny. Even
yeah.
what's his name that plays Weingarten? He's funny too.
Yeah,
But
Rick Ducommun, I think he
yeah,
died not too long ago. He passed away.
it's been a little while. He
Mm,
actually died quite a few years ago. But yes,
yeah,
um, eh,
Princess
just
Leia's in it.
Princess Leia. It's a brilliant movie.
Yeah, yeah. It's laugh out loud funny.
As Joe Dante, he did like Gremlins and stuff like that.
Okay.
Um, so I'm just gonna go down my list now of all the leftovers. Okay, we're
Right,
gonna go
right.
with the leftovers. What about Bob?
That was gonna be my next one.
And we've had this discussion before
Yes, I know what you're gonna
where
say.
it's Richard Dreyfuss.
Yes, this
It's
is
not Bill Murray's
Richard
movie.
Dreyfuss movie.
It's
This
Richard
is yeah,
Dreyfuss's movie.
yeah. And
So
the
good.
family, the mom was all quirky and
The
weird,
mom
and
from Just Friends.
the mom from Just Friends. That's right. Bill Murray was funny, but yeah, this was Richard Dreyfuss's movie.
Uh,
His reaction and his you could see his frustration building throughout the movie.
slowly, very
Yes,
slowly.
he's
On vacation.
slowly reaching his limit. Yeah, that
Uh,
was that one. I feel like we dropped the ball on that one. It might have should have been mentioned
a little bit
a little
higher.
bit higher.
Um,
Yeah.
so I've mentioned Coming to America and The Golden Child.
Uh-huh.
Also Harlem Nights. All of these Eddie Murphy classics
Yeah.
are just great to me. But here's one that's I know you think it's hilarious and Dustin thinks it's hilarious, but a lot of people I ask them, they've either never seen it or heard of it, and that's
Okay.
The Great White Hype.
The Great White Hype. Yeah, that was
The
great.
Great White Hype is
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not a big Jamie Foxx fan, but I've never seen a Jamie Foxx movie that I did not absolutely love.
Right. Right. I mean,
Because he's
I can
hilarious.
understand why you don't like him though.
He's a great actor. He's funny. He's all that stuff. The Great White Hype was awesome. Peter Berg.
Peter
He's a
Berg,
director now.
and
He
he is a
directs a lot
director.
of
Yeah,
movies now.
quite a few. He did Lone Survivor,
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
the movie with Will Smith where he's a superhero.
Oh, Hancock.
Hancock is
Yeah.
his.
Yeah.
He's done a few others. Yeah,
Uh,
Peter Berg's a good director, but
Sam Jackson was in
Sam
that.
Jackson, Damon Wayans is the champ.
That's right.
And the premise behind the
The
movie
Grim Reaper
is
Roper.
right. James the Grim Reaper Roper, who is Damon Wayans, is the heavyweight champ, never been beat, and Samuel Jackson decides what the world needs is a white heavyweight contender,
That's right.
and they dig up this guy who just so happened to beat the
Yeah, when
Grim
they were
Reaper
amateurs.
when they were
That's right. That's
amateurs. They
right.
were like 16 years old
Man, I haven't
boxing,
seen that in a
and so
while.
they make everybody believe that he is, the great white hype. I
They
mean, that's
hype
why
him
it's
up.
called
That's
that. Yeah.
right. That's right.
And I always
And he's an idiot.
he's a
Like
complete
he's a
moron.
complete moron.
Right.
Yeah.
And they know they're like, there's no way in hell he's got a shot, but they sell it. It's all about selling it.
Yeah.
It basically kind of exposes the dark side of boxing because
Yeah.
I love boxing. I know you love
Yeah.
boxing, but we all know how crooked it is and all
Yeah.
that stuff. And this movie like exploits that. It's
Yeah.
funny.
Samuel L. Jackson plays
Like a
it's all
Don
about making
King.
money. He plays the Don King
Right.
character, and in the meantime you got this other guy who's an actual contender who wants a shot, and that's who Jamie Foxx he was in his
Jamie
entourage.
Foxx is his promoter.
Right. And they were
And
just they were trying to call it
Michael
out for what it
Jace.
was,
Michael Jace
a
played.
farce. Yeah.
He's in prison for killing his wife.
That's right. He's
Mm.
the guy from the Replacements, right? Is that the same guy?
Yes, he's the
He
linebacker
was
that they
the
get out of prison in the
right.
replacements to play.
Yeah, how art imitates life.
Which that really did happen. You do realize that.
The
During the football strike,
no, I didn't know
the
that.
Washington Redskins made an arrangement to get a prisoner released to play football. That really happened.
That's awesome.
So even though you watch the movie and it seems ridiculous, it is not ridiculous. They did this in the 80s. So.
That just happened. That's awesome.
What do I have next here? Oh, that's actually a good one too, The Replacements. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, the Replacements was pretty
But
good.
it's not anywhere near
No,
this
no, no,
list.
no.
Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yes, Kindergarten Cop was great. We just watched the
The
documentary
documentary between
on Arnold. Yeah.
Kindergarten Cop and Twins, but I happen to like, I think, Kindergarten Cop a little bit better
Yeah.
than Twins, but Twins is hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm not taking anything away from that, but Kindergarten Cop, as far as Arnold comedies,
Yeah.
this and Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
I love Jingle All the Way.
Arnold's got some comedy chops. He's funny. He's another one that's kind of unintentionally funny. Like
right.
he's just funny because
comedies.
yeah. Well, he's just funny because he's a big, huge, muscular action star doing comedy. It's gonna be funny. You have no choice.
And how good was that documentary? I really enjoyed it.
I did too.
I learned a lot about Arnold the man.
Yeah.
He was candid. He was honest.
Yeah.
He admitted mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah,
he was just a fascinating guy.
There are lots of stuff I didn't know that I didn't remember him having to go have emergency heart surgery and all this other
Well,
stuff.
I knew he had the surgery not long ago to fix, because those valves only last so long.
Right.
So he had one not long ago to fix that one.
Yeah.
That he had replaced, but I didn't realize he was on like death's door.
Yeah, he almost died.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Me neither.
Never knew that. And And the whole thing behind him running for office and all that
Hmm.
stuff, I thought that was neat. His perspective on that and why he did all that. Yeah,
Good
good
documentary.
documentary
So
on
check out
Netflix.
Arnold on Netflix if you hadn't watched it yet.
I can't believe you haven't mentioned Groundhog Day yet.
It's on there.
It's on there.
It's
Okay,
on there.
yeah.
But eh, I love Groundhog Day.
Uh-huh.
I absolutely adore it. I just didn't think it was funny enough to get,
Yeah,
very high on the list. But I mean, same thing with Ghostbusters. I mean, I have a proton pack right here. I mean, I
yeah,
love in that, but those are, I don't know. It just didn't seem like
yeah.
it was quite in the funny.
I have Zombieland on my list
Oh,
and
it's right
was gonna
here.
ask if that was a comedy or not.
Right. I have
Yeah,
Zombieland.
love Zombieland.
Yeah,
Zombieland is one of my favorite movies.
it's a great movie.
Can't even tell you why.
But you
I
don't like
could.
Woody Harrelson, remember?
I don't. I really. I'm not a
Speaking of
big Woody
that, guess
Harrelson
what's on my
guy.
list? The Cowboy Way.
The Cowboy Way. Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
The Cowboy Way
Yes,
is
I have not
hilarious.
seen that in 20 years probably.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't own it. I don't have it. I don't
I
own it. So
have the DVD. I'll let you take it
I
home.
have no way to watch it. I'd watch that tonight.
I'll let you take it home. I have the DVD. Yeah, dude, the Cowboy Way, man. I love that
Yeah,
movie.
Kiefer Sutherland and Woody Harrelson. Yeah, Woody Harrelson. I don't know. I
Yeah,
can't
I
explain it.
love everything he's in, but I don't like him.
I don't. I don't know. I'm a weird guy.
Dude,
What
what
can I
about
say?
how come you never mentioned Major League? You don't love me. I thought you loved Major
I
League.
do really like Major League. I haven't seen it a whole lot.
Oh,
I've seen it several times, but I don't know. That doesn't pop into my mind for some
oh,
reason. I do really like Major League. Yeah. Tom Berenger is a phenomenal actor. I
especially in
mean,
comedy.
have you seen The Substitute?
He's probably
It's-
better in comedies than real stuff. Even though he's
Sniper.
the straight guy in Major League. He's the only one that's not funny, really.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah,
love
yeah, that
that's a
was a good
great
one. The
movie.
sequels were good too. The second one, I guess, was a little popular. The
It was
third one, I don't think anybody saw.
no, I think a lot. I think there's actually a cult following for the third one.
Yeah,
The second one, when you watch it, it's very obvious that Hollywood got a hold of it because the first one's rated R.
yeah,
The second one is like PG, not even PG-13. It's
yeah,
like PG. So they wanted to get butts in the seats. They wanted
yeah,
people to bring their kids. So they really toned down,
yeah.
the language. There's like no cursing and
I don't
stuff like
remember.
that.
I
So
remember the second one very, very much.
that's where like Wesley Snipes didn't return. It's what's his name? Omar Epps is playing Willie Mays Hayes, and
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
it's a little sillier than even the first one is.
yeah,
Kind of like what they did with Ninja Turtles. You have Ninja Turtles 1, which is this dark, gritty. Y'all, excuse the cat if you hear the cat meowing.
yeah,
He's trying to get in the room. But Ninja Turtles 1 is like dark and gritty, and even
yeah,
though it's got some kiddie stuff in it,
yeah.
it's.
It's kind of
But
rough.
then part 2, they want to get more butts in the seats. People complained it was too violent, whatever. So they go,
So they turned it
yeah.
into a
And
cartoon,
that's kind
basically.
of what they did with Major League. But
Yeah.
Major League 3, I remember just the Asian guy is the thing that sticks out the most whenever he's like, you have no
No
mamas.
Mobiles. Yeah, yeah. I do remember that.
Or is that the second one? Is that the second one?
It might be
I
the
don't know.
second
It's
one.
2 or 3. I think it is because 3 is back to the minors. So it might be
Yeah.
the second one.
The only thing I remember about the third one really is I've seen it, but the only thing I remember about it is the guy who couldn't concentrate, the catcher who couldn't concentrate and without
That's part 2.
reciting the Playboy
That's
stuff.
part
That's
2.
the second
Yeah,
one?
that's the
Okay,
second
well,
one.
so I don't remember the third
The
one then.
third one is back to the minors. They're no longer with the Cleveland Indians.
Okay.
It's what's his name from Quantum Leap? What's that actor's name?
Oh, Bakula, Scott
Yes,
Bakula.
he's the main character. Um, did the cat push the door open?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he
in.
did. So if we get a visitor, it's just my cat Henry. Next, Rush Hour.
Yeah,
I'm
Rush
not.
Hour's funny. Rush Hour's good.
Here
Hey,
he
buddy.
makes an appearance. Henry, say hi. Hi. Now get out of here. Go. Rush Hour. It. I like all 3 of them,
Yeah.
but you
Really
got to go
good
with the
buddy
original.
comedy, good
Right.
buddy cop comedy. Yeah, yeah, the first one is the best one. They're all good, but the first one is definitely the best one.
Um,
Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan,
Beautiful chemistry.
yes, yeah,
Beautiful.
perfect on-screen duo for that kind of movie.
Um, Wedding Crashers.
Yeah, Wedding Crashers. Wedding
Wedding
Crashers
Crashers
was
is
good.
hilarious. You
Yeah.
probably just haven't watched it in a long
It's
time.
been a little while. I do remember thinking Vince Vaughn was very funny in that. And that's kind of our introduction to Bradley Cooper too, I think. That's like the
Yeah, he was
first big thing that I had
very,
seen him in.
he wasn't very,
Yeah.
big. He was probably getting started in his
Yeah.
career because he was young. Um, yeah, he was funny too.
Christopher Walken as the dad. Yeah. The football when they were playing football, that was pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, the Wedding Crashers is a good
I've
one.
been secretly going on quail hunts our whole friendship.
I
I
don't
don't even
even
know
know
what
what
the
a
hell a
half a
quail
quail
is.
is. Yeah, that was a good line.
Step Brothers,
I watched Step Brothers last night. I hadn't
good
seen it in a
movie,
while, and we were talking about comedies.
but
I
it's
watched
nowhere
Step Brothers
near.
last night.
It's nowhere near top. But it's worth a mention because it's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Well, John C. Riley, I think John C. Riley is hilarious. And he's one of those guys where he's an awesome actor and does really good comedies too. So he's good in serious stuff and in comedy stuff. Yeah, I Step Brothers is definitely
Dodgeball,
funny. Dodgeball's up there. I thought about putting Dodgeball on the list, yeah.
Dodgeball's good.
Yeah. Ben Stiller, I don't know, some people really don't like him
I
very
know.
much, don't like his
Yeah,
movies.
like Tropic Thunder. I mean, Tropic Thunder is
Tropic Thunder was kind of genius.
it is, and I do agree with you when you say it's like three-quarters of the movie's hilarious.
Yeah, at the end,
Towards
I
the end,
lose
it's
it
like, what were
towards
they
the end.
doing? Some of the
Yeah,
choices weren't quite,
yeah,
but I mean, the majority of the movie's funny.
yeah. In his Zoolander, I never saw the second Zoolander, but Zoolander was so ridiculous and funny.
And then the
Um,
last thing I had, we'll have two. Talladega Nights,
yeah,
hilarious, but not everybody gets it.
yeah,
But this movie is it's unique. It's special to me and probably you.
hmm
Um, Fanboys.
yeah, yeah.
Fanboys is great,
I
but
don't have fanboys on my list, but
and
yeah,
the reason I
fanboys.
didn't put it high is because how can I say it's one of the funniest movies ever when, a ton of people don't like Star Trek and a ton of people don't like Star Wars. So, it's only a niche group of people that would really more than likely enjoy it and
Yeah,
appreciate a lot of the humor in it.
if you enjoy the subject matter, you'll enjoy that
Yeah,
movie a
like
whole lot more.
if you're not a Star Wars guy or a Trekkie,
Yeah,
why would it be funny that they hate each other?
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, why would it be funny
You
that
have
they
nothing
drove
invested in
hundreds
this
of
movie.
miles out of their way just so they can go pick a fight with the Trekkies?
Yeah,
You know,
the birthplace of Captain Kirk. Han Solo is a bitch.
plus I met William Shatner and I had him autograph my Fanboys
That's right.
Blu-ray.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about fanboys. I got that one in my collection too. Yeah, the we we automatically have to like fanboys, but I don't like Spaceballs.
I'm the same way. I say I don't like it. I don't, it's been a long time since I watched it all the way through,
Yeah,
so I can't comment on how funny I think it is,
yeah,
but I have tried to watch it in the last few years and I didn't get very far.
yeah.
I got distracted, I turned it off, and I wasn't interested enough to go back and re to finish it.
It's got funny moments, but I'm not a fan of
Mel Brooks,
spoof comedies.
yeah.
Spaceball. Now look, Robin Hood, Men in Tights. I did enjoy. I do like that one.
Naked Gun, I love. I love the Naked Gun
Yeah,
movies.
stuff like that. The scary
Nah,
movies,
I
and
don't dig those too
I'm
much.
not too crazy about
But
those
Young
types of movies.
Frankenstein,
And I'm not a big Weird Al Yankovic guy for the same types of reasons.
Young
So
Frankenstein is great because
yeah,
it's not a spoof type movie.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just a kind of silly take on Frankenstein.
yeah. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Like I just watched
But
I
Gene Wilder wrote that, so that's why it's not quite like a
yeah.
regular Mel Brooks type thing.
I had never seen Blazing Saddles. I just watched Blazing Saddles for the first time not too
I've seen
long
bits and
ago, and
pieces. I don't get it too much.
yeah, it's one of those where at the time it probably would have had a whole lot more significance. But
But if you look up, and I didn't really do this because I didn't want to get kind of tainted as
hmm
far as that. I didn't Google to come up with my list.
hmm
But what I did was I have an office, there's 15 of us. And I was walking up to people, I was like, off the top of your head, without thinking, I want you to spit out the first movie that comes to mind when I say this, okay? You ready? And they're like,
hmm
yeah, yeah, yeah. Funniest movie you've ever seen. And then they would just spit things out.
yeah,
And we have people in our oldest guy is this is funny. The new guy that works for us that's from Africa.
Yeah.
He's only been with us like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
He's 57 years old and he's from Kenya.
Okay.
And he actually said Sideways, that movie Sideways
Yeah.
with which is really good, but it's not
Yeah.
that funny.
Yeah.
But whatever.
That one didn't make the list.
But whenever I mentioned Coming to America, his face lit up. As
Yeah.
an African coming to, he's like, yes, yes, I love this movie.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was great that an African friend of mine loves Coming to America.
Yeah.
But
That's
anyway,
good.
so I got a couple of these ideas from people, just having them spit it out.
Yeah.
And if they were like close, like if I had thought about them, I was like, okay, well, so that was my
Let's go
thing.
on the
If
list.
I'm getting people saying that those movies are hilarious,
Yeah.
Wedding Crashers was one that multiple people said, and Dumb and Dumber
Yeah.
was another one that multiple people said. So I was like, well, those are definitely
Yeah.
gonna be mentioned. But Dumb and Dumber, in my opinion, is like top 3 or 4.
Yeah. And see, I just went off the top of my head. If you would have asked me that question in a split second without thinking about it, my answer would have been The
Big
Big
Lebowski,
Lebowski.
yeah.
But yeah, I just kind of went off the top of my head. I looked through my collection, and I know there's tons of comedies that I've seen that I probably didn't think of or whatever that could
Right.
have
I
made
mean,
it.
we could
But
go on and on, but
yeah.
that's why those the 30 or whatever that I came 30 something or almost 40 that I came up with, to me those are like, okay, these are hilarious movies.
Yeah.
And I just went through and kind of handpicked. I already knew it was gonna be My Cousin Vinny and Big Lebowski as the
Mm-hmm.
top 2 because we've said it already. It's the 2 of the funniest movies ever made. Prove
Yeah.
me wrong. But that's just kind of how I came up with that.
Yeah.
It was fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was fun.
I enjoyed coming up with it and I enjoyed talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was always a fun time when we do the old show.
Yeah, and lists are always fun.
Yeah.
And we have another local podcast. It's called Fave 5 from Fans, and the guy's name is Jamie Ray. And I contacted him, so I'll probably be on his show soon.
Cool.
And not sure what we're gonna come up with. I've given him a few ideas. I'm waiting
Yeah.
for him to get back with me, but
Cool.
yeah, I really would. There's a couple that we mentioned a couple of names in this list
Yeah. Yeah.
of what we're gonna do.
That'd be
And
cool.
I mean, this guy, he has a great idea. It's anything that you love, whether it's horror movies, comedies, or actors or whatever, or music, what's your fave 5 albums of all time,
Yeah.
whatever. So, and they just sit there and talk about it. He gives a list and his guest gives a list. It's really neat.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I like it.
Yep. All right. Well, I think that'll about wrap it up. Anything else? No, that's it.
No, that's all I got. Can't
All
wait
right.
for the next one.
Well, yeah, and please like, subscribe, tell your friends, all that good stuff. You can catch us on all podcast mediums, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. And as soon as Dominic gets back from vacation, we're gonna do our part 3 of Back to the Future deep dive.
Yeah, I need to catch up on those. I just finished Indiana Jones y'all's videos part 1 and 2. So I need to catch up on Back to the Future
Though the
next.
Back to the Futures got pretty good traction.
Yeah.
They got quite a few views. So I guess people
It
enjoyed them.
it's already making me want. I haven't seen them in a while. It's already making
Right.
me want to watch
Watch
it again.
all actually while we were on vacation in Universal Studios.
Yeah.
The second night we watched Back to the Future 3, we watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I'm fresh.
Yeah. That's good. I'm looking forward to watching because I know how much you love Back to the
Oh, I
Future.
love
It
it.
seems like he loves it too. So I'm the I could tell you were kind of in physical agony talking about Indiana Jones because you're not a huge fan. This is going to be the antithesis of that.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to watching these.
And I love part 3.
Yeah.
Love it. So
Yeah.
all right, guys. Well, we'll see you on the next one.
See ya.